In this video, I'm going to show you how to install this TRQ upper door hinge on the rear door of this Chevy Silverado. The process for both left and right doors is exactly the same, so let's get started. These hinges can be done one at a time, although if one is bad, I recommend replacing both because, well, they both opened and closed the same amount of times, so most likely they are both in similar condition. To support the weight of the door, I'm using a floor jack with just a piece of wood in here to space it out because this door is pretty tall, and a rubber pad to basically soften up the force on the door side. But also this has a groove in it, and that groove fits right on the door. So at this point I can put minimal pressure, just like that. This just raises the door up a little bit and releases pressure off of the hinge. Up here, the lower bolt is actually going to come in contact with this one on the bottom, so I'm going to unthread this bolt a few turns to get those threads lower. This bolt here is also a 10 millimeter. Just bring this down a few threads. Now you should be able to get your socket and ratchet or whatever tool you're using in here. Break this one free and remove it the rest of the way. All right, take this second one out. Now the door is disconnected from the hinge part, so I can lower my support just a little bit in order to relieve pressure off that hinge. That's it. I don't want to go any further than that because I will bend the bottom hinge. The bolts on the B-pillar side are 13 millimeter in size, so grab a socket or wrench and remove those as well. There's one. For the other one, you can just open the front door and get it through there. The paint on these bolts might be trouble factor to you, but just get your socket over them and take it off. Support the hinge, take out the last bolt, fold it in like that, and take it out. And there's your hinge. Take your new hinge and line it up. Try to get that first bolt started. I'm going to get this bolt close just so the hinge can stop pivoting around like this, but I can still move it. And now I'm going to line up the other one and then tighten them both up at once. These hinges do have a little bit of an adjustment to them on the bolt side, so try to line it up the best you can. What I'm going to do now is start in the two bolts on the door just temporarily so I can make sure that both of those are centered. Yep, that looks good right there. Now I'm going to tighten the B-pillar bolts up. Make these nice and snug. All right, now push your door back up with whatever support you're using. That's pressed up against the hinge. And now as I tighten these bolts, they have a little shoulder on them at the top, so the door will actually line up by itself with the hinge as this bolt threads in. Before I fully tighten that one, I'm going to tighten this one as well. The fact that this is going in easily by hand is a good sign. That means the threads are perfectly lined up in there. This one actually went in all the way, so that's perfect. All right, I'm going to grab my longer ratchet so I can put a little bit of leverage into these bolts and just give them about 1/8 of a turn after they get snug. Just like so. You don't want to break anything here. All right, on this hinge, the bolt on the bottom that we had to unthread at the beginning is actually shorter, which helps us out because we don't have to worry about it coming in contact with this lower hinge bolt. The best way to get the hinge lined up at this point, that everything is tightened on the door side and snug on the B-pillar side, is to actually close the door. That will position it in its ideal or optimal position so that it doesn't have any odd tension on it. So you're going to have to probably lift it a little bit latch it in. With the door latched, grab your long ratchet, tighten these bolts up now that the door is in its optimal position. Bottom them out, and then once they do bottom out, just give them about 1/8 of a turn to snug them up. All right, now test out the door to make sure it opens and closes as it should with minimal effort. That feels perfect, so we're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.